What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Scale News Update, the I Got Shelves edition. If you're not familiar with the show, this is where we talk about the news topics that happened in the scale world of RC over the past week. Stupid text messages. Rookie mistake. If you enjoy this show regularly, hit the like button now. Let's jump into this week's topics. First for this week, one of my favorite inexpensive brands in RC, WPL, dropped the C94. This is a UAZ 469 style replica. Now, this one, I believe this is a Russian vehicle, but this is a 1/12 scale leaf sprung little RC that you can pick up. WPL, popular for the, again, very inexpensive, and they're like this weird, almost hobby grade type RC. Just, again, they kind of fit a special place in the market, and I think it's pretty cool that they do that. This new one, I'm not very familiar with the UAZ vehicles. I think the most experience that I've had with them is in games like Mud Runner or Snow Runner, whatnot. But it looks pretty cool. It comes in a couple of different colors, or a few different colors even. It's got the removable hard top that appears like a soft top, but you know, a well-detailed body. Again, it's leaf sprung. Just overall a pretty cool truck. It's always fun to cover the WPLs when they come out. If you're interested in these, you can go direct to WPL and pick one of those up. Pretty decent price. New last week from Vanquish Products, new Eibach licensed shocks. Now, these are similar to the SAD shocks, but there are some construction differences, such as the lower cartridge is now a screw-on lower cartridge rather than the C-clip retained style cartridge that was used before. So you don't have to have the small C-clip style pliers to remove that lower snap ring. Beyond that, the seal package that are in this is the updated kind of the dual O-ring set with the spacers in there. The upper cap to the shock does still use a bleeder style design, and it is aluminum on this. These shocks are fully upgraded in that way. So it also has an aluminum machined preload collar, and the preload collar, as well as like that lower screw on cap, they all have details that are similar to Eibach's full size newly released coilover shocks. So that's where a lot of this came into play. So the fine detail milling on that lower cartridge, as well as the detailed milling used on the preload collar, all match the full-size design. It also has Eibach lasered onto the shock body, and there's some stickers included on there that you can wrap the upper part of the shock with that matches the Eibach branding as well. If you're interested in those shocks, there'll be a link to them in the description below. These are available in both 80 and 90 millimeter, depending on what vehicle you're shopping for. Also new from Vanquish Products last week was the new Falcon AT4W 4.75 inch tall 1.9 tires. So these have that all-terrain style design that's not quite as aggressive as a mud terrain or extreme mud terrain, any of those, just a little bit more. So depending on what kind of vehicle you want to put these on, there might be a fitting look on a scale type trail rig, something along those lines. Follows a lot of the details that Falcon has on the full size, all mimicked down on this tire. Comes in the red compound, so super sticky at that. Those tires and the Eibach shocks are both available and in stock for shipping now. And in more Turbosaurus news, you'd think it's an RC10, how much we're talking about this truck, but it was sent to me in email this week that these are available now on AliExpress. Don't see them on the official Cross websites anywhere, but they are available on AliExpress. So weird. Cross never ceases to amaze me, but that isn't the most interesting point about this. The interesting point, well, some of the actual specs are available in that listing. And this thing has a 34-inch wheelbase on the 6x6 version. It is massive. It is 1/5 scale, remember, it barely mentioned that in the initial tease, but 34-inch wheelbase, overall length on the 6x6, 54.2 inches long. So big. Now, here's some more of the interesting stuff. In the video that we saw previously, it showed a trailer that it was pulling. That is also available, and I first was a little shocked because I thought that the price for the truck was what was actually just displayed for the trailer. The trailer is for sale for $407.88. It's expensive, but it's a big truck, so it's probably a good sized trailer, $407. Like, okay. Then we get to the truck, which is being offered in 3 different ways in 2 colors each. So there is an ATR version, which I've never heard that 3-letter, almost to run. I don't know exactly what ATR means, but the ATR version basically is a fully assembled truck with the shift servos installed, but not the motor and ESC or steering servo. So you get some servos, but not all. And if you want that version, it is going to cost you $1,636.85. Or you can step up to the brushed model, which uses a dual brushed motor transmission. And if you want that version, $1,777.64. Or you can go to the brushless version, which uses a big hobby wing brushless motor and a brushless ESC. And it uses the same dual motor transmission, but it only uses one motor and then it blocks off the other one. If you go that route, you're going to be looking at $1,890.92. It is 5th scale. It is huge, but it's a steep price. When a company comes out with a vehicle like this size, whatever it is, there's so much investment that goes into it for all of the tooling. This thing has portal axles, front and rear, locking and unlocking differentials. The rear suspension appears to use a Watts link style suspension, which we don't see very often in RC. We have seen it before. CEN used it on the F250. Beyond that, we don't see it all that often. I think it was maybe on the Rlaarlo as well or something like that. But regardless, it's a huge truck. There was a ton of tooling, a new transmission, new axles, new chassis set, new body, this whole bed. And you expect these things to come out in somewhere that may seem more commercially viable. This price really looks like it's going to be hard to hit some of those numbers. Like the SCX6 came out and it was, between $1,000 and $1,300, depending on which model you were looking at, or $1,100 and $1,300, anywhere in there. And it was, you obviously saw it on sale often, and sales on it, they always seem like kind of on the edge, like, I don't know. But this one, I'll be interested to see how many of these we see out there. At 52.4 inches long, that's a lot of truck. It's obviously big. So there's a lot that goes into that. And you got to ship this locker somewhere. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see if any of you are interested in this truck at $1,900. I'm not saying that we don't have trucks worth, or we don't have $1,900 into a lot of our vehicles. It's just one of those things that it's a bit shocking to see initially. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think on that price down below. Last week, Boom Racing dropped some new tires and foams. They've got the new 1.9 Redeemer tires in the GEKKO compound. And alongside of that, they also released the new Rock Monster green foams. Now, I'm not 100% sure what the Rock Monster green foams are offering specifically different than some of the other offerings that have been made available before, but these are being offered separately, or they are also being included in these new tires like the Redeemer. They also are including those foams with other versions of their tires that they've previously released, so you can get them all at once. And the price is good. These new tires with the foams, still like $26 for the pair. If you want the foams on their own, they're like $12 or $13, somewhere in that range. So a decent price. The Redeemer tire itself, it's got a scale-ish look, although the photos that they used for the release and things like that were more on like cheater type trucks. So obviously kind of trying to go for that performance aspect of it, but still giving it some scale style, which I like to see. So if you're interested in those, Boom Racing and Boom Racing authorized resellers will be your best bet. Next, new from Proline last week, the Dodge Viper GTS body for the Losi Nascar platform. I love a Dodge Viper GTS. This version, I think this was it's like a weird first gen, second gen thing. The Vipers are weird in that range, what they call them exactly. But this was one of my favorite Dodge Vipers. Always been a big fan. It's just weird to have the Dodge Viper for the Losi Nascar. It's almost like they should have given that Losi Nascar its own chassis name if they want to try to expand the usability of it in these other like non-NASCAR style bodies. We've seen other bodies for it, but they've all been in that NASCAR realm, whether they were the NASCAR or the NASCAR truck series, Craftsman truck, or wherever it's actually called now. I don't know, but they've all kind of been in that vein. And now we're like, hey, what about this? Just seems like, I wonder if they're even saying to themselves, maybe we give the chassis a name and don't have to call it the NASCAR chassis so we can put other stuff on it. Either way, I think the Dodge Viper body looks great. It's just going to go on a 1/12 scale platform. Last week we got a teaser from Buggy Designs, and this week we get the actual release. We've got two new TRX4M bodies available. We've got the T400, which is the little Tacoma looking version, and then we've got the W464, which is the G-Wagon style. The G-Wagon's got some I don't know if it's Brabus styling or Brabus. I'm not sure which way you're supposed to say it exactly. I think G-Wagon looks pretty good. It's got a lot of details to it with the roof light pod as well as a rear wing setup. Overall, I think they look pretty good. It's fun to see some differences. You don't see a lot of G-Wagon offerings. Traxxas themselves have made a couple in the past, but beyond that, you don't see them all that often. And the Tacoma style, although some people thought it was going to be a Ram TRX from last week's teaser, but it looks pretty decent as well. So if you've got a TRX4M, you want some new body options for it, check these out. Buggy Designs always does an excellent job on body quality. Like their molding quality and the details they get into them are top notch. So if you've never owned one before, they're definitely worth taking a look at. They're not cheap though. $39.90 in euros. That's $45.99 in US dollars. For a 1/18 scale body, that's on the high side. And for any of you working on a Project IJ and you would like the new sliders or the body armor that I talked about in recent videos, those are available now. The body armor you can just order and then bolt and form to your printed IJ body. The sliders do require you to download and 3D print some fixturing and then weld the final product together. That's not for everybody, but if you're interested in fabrication, it makes things way easier. So been having a lot of fun with that Project IJ. If you'd like to jump in on any of those things I've been doing, those will be available now and you can find the link down below. And if you want to join in on something that's not just the Project IJ, you should join the channel membership, which is available for the channel, helps support it a little bit extra. You get videos early, you get special kind of behind the scenes videos, you get videos like After News Delight, which is an extension of this show. We kind of go back over topics from the news that are, worthy of some extra commentary here and there, a little bit more candid. And again, it's just a great way to support the channel a little bit extra. If you're interested, there's a link down in the description below. Appreciate all of you who help support the channel, and thanks to all of you who watch any of the videos regardless. And this Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, come join Matt and I for another episode of Livestream Takeover. Hopefully this week, things are a little bit more stable as far as the internet connection goes on my side, because the plan is for Matt and I both to show off our new H10 Origin builds. Matt just received his, mine pretty much completed. Come join us for a fun live show where I believe Matt is going to live build his project. So find that 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, every single Wednesday. And if you work for an RC company and like to see any of your products on the Scale News Update, shoot me an email to news@harleydesigns.com. Include a photo and a description, a link to where it'll be found when it hits your website, and I'd be happy to take a look at it, see if we can get it included here in the Scale News. Last week, Hardpark RC dropped some new 1.3 Outlaw wheels. These wheels, like a lot of Hardpark stuff, are like a super performance oriented wheel set that uses a wheel hanger or a weight hanger that puts the weight as far down as possible inside of the wheel, like below where the actual bead of the tire would be. A real specialized type of style, and Hardpark really focuses on this type of area in general, and I think these look really great. Now, I grabbed the link for these, however, they have currently already sold out already, and the price is changed, so I don't know what the actual list price of these is or when they'll be available again. But if you want to save the link so that you can check back and try and catch them the next time they do fall in stock, you'll find that information down below. Last week, Furitek released the Titan Buggy RTR. This is a tiny little TIG welded buggy chassis in the 1/18th scale world. Now, there is a couple of welded miniature tube chassis available. I think VTech or V3Tech and Typro kind of got together on one that I think is even smaller than this, like 1/24 scale. This is labeled as 1/18th scale, but it's $500, which if you compare it to like the other one that's available, is pretty reasonable based on the fact that this is a ready to run. Comes with the axles, comes with a Furitek brushless 2-in-1 outrunner system on it. It's got like the Furitek dash, the little OLED dash set in it. Uses like their Avatar 4-wheel steer radio. It is 4-wheel steer, as that would then imply. It's a cool build, and it's pretty much built out. Furitek uses somebody else's axles. I think it's Hobby Plus to complete their builds. I imagine the transmission then is maybe similar to that as well, but it's available in a couple of different colors. It's not cheap either, but for what it is, a fully built out rig for $500 at the smaller scale, it's not crazy. If you've got micro nuts that need to be tightened, check out MIP's new offerings of their little nut drivers. 1.5, 2, 3 millimeter, like for a nut driver, that is quite small. This offering is going to be well suited for things like scale hardware. And these are available in both the regular MIP handle with tip all as one piece, or as the 1/4 inch like speed driver type tips as well. So depending on what your preference is for style, check these things out from MIP. Rlaarlo has finally released the XTS S10 rally car, listed as the carbon fiber brushless RC rally car on their site, but this is a very scale looking, pretty well detailed rally car. It's obviously a Subaru. It's got the Subaru logo on the side and on the front of the grille. However, it doesn't say Subaru anywhere. So I don't think that it's Subaru licensed, but very rarely do we see somebody, like, we see a lot of lookalikes, things that are close, but they usually don't just straight up use the logo, which is, I mean, nothing surprises me with Rlaarlo. They also put out like an interesting statement this last week, like an apology for they sent cars to influencers, or as what are they calling them, third-party testers, to find weak points and things. It sounds like they sent cars to influencers to review or something along those lines, and that there was a bunch of, or some issues at least, and they're saying that no, we're just getting a last look at it. The final ones that you guys, the customers actually see, will be fixed. And it was a weird post that they made about it, but the look of this thing is really good. It's got a molded interior cage to it to sell the look. It's got a driver and a co-driver in there. It's got like a printed face that you can see through the helmet. It kind of reminds me of like GoldenEye when they flatten textures so much. Like if you look right on, it looks pretty reasonable. Look from the side, it looks a little weird. But overall, this car looks really good. It is just surprising that they went so on the nose without licensing. I wonder if that will stick for the long run. That'll be interesting. I mean, they've done a lot of real close to look-alike products in the past without licensing as well. But I think that they've dodged some things and they didn't put like straight up Jeep on those. I don't know. Interesting to see. Even like some of the little sponsor graphics, instead of like KMC, like with the open C, how it has, they just put a line that's out. It says KMA wheels, but it's the exact same font load. Price is good on this thing though. It's less than $400. Brushless rally car. Doesn't look bad. I love a rally car. But that's going to do it for this week's news topics. For this week's question, a couple of things that we've noticed some trends in the hobby. We've obviously seen a ton of small scale releases, 124 scale, 118 scale, and 130th and 132nd. And we have to wonder if the market is starting to move more and more and more to focusing on small scale, and if it's because of the popularity or if it's because of the price and people's, expendable income amount. Things have gotten more expensive everywhere. We continue to see that go and go. So some less and less disposable income becomes available to people. So therefore, less expensive products become more popular oftentimes. So at the same time, though, I want to ask you guys, is your interest moving from a larger scale and going to smaller? Or are you, like me, just really like your 10th scale? The larger stuff is fun at times, but 10th scale is that sweet spot. For me, I play around with small stuff every once in a while. I like some of it. Some of it it doesn't grab me the same way as 10th scale does. So I want to ask you guys, scale preference, where are you landing and why? Is it because of terrain accessibility, disposable income, just what you enjoy working on at the bench size-wise? Can you focus on those teeny tiny little screws? Let me hear it down in the comments. Appreciate your guys' comments every week. It's my favorite part of the Scale News Update is reading what you guys have to say. But that is going to do it for this week's episode. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell if you haven't, so you see the videos as soon as they get uploaded. Channel membership's available if you're interested. But with that, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.